Hey Transformer fans out there, Exile Prime here, back with a new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Wave 1 Legacy Voyager class Bulkhead. Starting off with the box, here we go, Transformers Generations Takara. This nice alt mode, a nice vehicle, military truck, it looks awesome, it pops right out of this artwork. Got the nice Legacy, we got the Prime universe, Bulkhead. This is where this character is coming from through the multiverse of the figures. You got a nice close-up of the head sculpt. They captured that likeness right there from Prime Universe. Down below we get a closer look at his robot mode, and it looks cool. He has his mace. Looks fantastic. On back of the box we have his robot mode into alt mode for 30 steps. You got the Prime Universe, Transformers. On this side of the box, you just got that legacy stuff of the Autobots. Still looks very cool. And on the top of the box, we just have the legacy. Bulkhead here brings a lot to the table in his alt mode. Military truck. Starting from the front, we have the nice mirrors for the side of the cab. We have translucent blue plastic for the windshield and everything. We even got molded detail and painted windshield wipers. Nice touch. A lot of molded detail on the front of the truck, down to the bumper and everything. Looks great. Nice headlights, even painted like that nice looking blue. Looks great. Even got a little bit of a crane going here. Underneath, even got that nice molded detail for the grill. Even up here, looks fantastic. Moving along right to the top of the vehicle, more molded detail and everything. They did a really good job with this alt mode here. Moving to the side, you got the molded detail for the door handle, more molded detail here, even for like a reinforced like covering for a window there. Looks cool. Like how they touched that up, did something with it. Got three wheels on this side. Looks great. They all match up. Looks great. Got some silver in here, gray. Looks good. Moving to the back, they instead of doing this lighter green, they decided to make this a darker army looking green. Looks great for the tarp and everything, just to make this stand out a little bit differently. Looks fantastic. And there's a lot of molded detail on this tarp, which eventually this does come off and become the shield. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But I like what they did here. Really good job. And then on the back, this alt mode, what it can do, it can store its weapons inside, which is fantastic because a lot of figures don't get that opportunity to have, so it's a nice additional touch. And the other thing is you can use his feet to act as like a ramp, so like people are working off of it or whatever, like make it pretty accurate of what it would be, stuff like that in real life. So I think it more like probably would come down to like here. This is the back part. And you can see there's a little piece right here to act as like part of the truck as well. I like that. I like how you can use this as like a ramp, even for like maybe your Micromasters or Battle Masters and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But overall, I think the alt mode is awesome. For comparison, here we have Transformers Siege Hound next to Bulkhead, fellow Legacy Voyager Wave 1 Blaster, and finally, Transformers Velocitron Voyager class Override. As you can see, you got to take this back part off, and this is also part of the transformation. We're going to get this part out of the way. You see as the weapons get stored here. So he has his classic mace. This is how you can put this on his hand. I'll show that off a little bit later, but it's really nice how they were able to do this with the pegs and everything right here for the storage, right within the transformer itself. Looks great. Nice silver and everything like that. Nice detail. We captured this very, very well. Put this to the side. Here we go with the shield. In the instructions, it's supposed to be like this because it has all this detail and everything. You push the handle out this way. You can do it that way if you want, but if you prefer for some reason the other way, this handle can be swapped to the other side as well. You can do that, and we'll show that off in a little bit. And I did show this off a little bit on my Instagram, and I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check that out and what I used this for. I thought this was pretty cool. Not just for Bulkhead, but for some other smaller bots. So there's that. Nice riot shield. Then you got the Energon infused weapon accessory. And this one is that nice minigun and everything. I think that looks fantastic. And it looks good. Nice 5mm holes right there. We got some smaller pegs here, and that'll come into play a little bit later to attach to Bulkhead's shoulder, and I will show that off. But overall, I like that blue Energon and everything. Looks great. So we're going to set that down to the side. Now, transformation time. So, here we go. Obviously, one foot already came out. One of them seems to get stuck every so often in there. So we're going to bypass that. Just going to move it right along here. Just going to separate this. We're going to come back here, separate this. This is going to, now he's going to become like an accordion. He's trying to, yeah, he's all over the place, but that's okay because you're going to come back here. There's a peg that holds this in place here. Bring this back, turn it. Nice storage. Already hidden away, don't even know it's there. Pop the peg, straighten out the leg, open this up, turn it, bring it down, close. We'll fix his foot in a little bit. I need something to get in there to tap thin enough to pop that. But no big deal there. So here we go. Gotta get this black piece out, bring this down, and you're gonna do that. Let's see here. Now you're gonna come back here, pop those up just like that. This is gonna free up everything else for this upper part of the cab. Open this up, gonna free his arms. Just gonna straighten them out for the time being. There's his head right in there. Gonna come back here with your finger, push this in, so it goes in there just like that. You're gonna bring his head up, and this is going to cause everything to eventually come down and collapse with this. But the first thing you got to do is move his arms out of the way, which is very cool. So we're going to separate them so they're off the pegs, yes. So you're going to come back here, and this is where you have to line them up. With this. And there you go. Okay. They're almost lined up perfectly. There you go. And come over here. This is where this chest piece right here has holes in it. Goes into these two tabs here. Clicks in. Good to go. Come back here. Oh, that was sticking. That was caught on here. This is supposed to look just like this when it's finished. And there you have Bulkhead. Nice head sculpt, nice blue eyes. They pop for this figure. Nice overall the way his jaw is and everything, his mouth, the way that they did that design in Prime. I think they did a good job with that as well. Overall fantastic. I think they captured him perfectly. Now when you come down to his body, Bulkhead is from Prime is more of a roundish looking figure in the animation, and trying to capture that and bring this down to the generation style that we've been getting for a while, and trying to do that, I don't think it was going to work. So I like this boxy looking version of him. I think they just nailed it. I don't see anything wrong with it whatsoever. It just works. He's a military type figure. He's part of the Wrecker crew throughout Prime and also the the comics and everything. So I think that's very, very cool that they decided to do this figure. So accessory wise, here's that minigun again, getting a closer look at that and everything. I think that looks great and everything. Nice. So what you do, there's a hole right back here or on the other side, whichever shoulder you prefer to put that over. That little tab right there. Just gonna pop that in. I'm gonna put it over his left shoulder. That looks very cool. Then we got the mace. You can put this on either hand that you want. I'm going to put this on, let's see, we'll put this on the right hand. It doesn't matter to me, but I like how they gave him his signature mace weapon. And yes, my joints on this figure are like super tight, but that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Looks great. Then we got the riot shield. Well, you can do a couple different things. So instructions, you can do this. Let's just pop that out the other way. I mean, you can go it that way. I mean, the more I look at it this way now on camera here as I'm doing this, it does look pretty cool that way as well. So you could peg this in for his arm, but then that leaves you with not much really to go with here, because he's a big bulky figure, and his, I'm gonna be honest, his chest kind of gets in the way when you're trying to pose that arm to kind of bring it up like a Captain America shield. But I think it does pretty well. I think it's more for a smaller, like, deluxe figure. Just, he can just, hey, I got a shield, you take it, I'll I'll cover you. You know, I'll dish out the firepower while you're, protecting him. But there's also another cool feature. There is a way that you can just, this peg right here, you can just tab in right here. So technically speaking, you could do the whole entire transformation with this on his back, if you would want to. It's just a lot easier if you just, now it doesn't want to even come off. But overall, if you want to, you could do that. And Bulkhead's a big bot here. So what we're going to do with this real quick, you can even just set it down just like that. And I'm just going to bring in a smaller bot just like that. And this is what I used for my Instagram and everything, and gave this to actually Goldbug here, just so if he's dishing out some firepower, if he has a weapon of some sort, which you can just borrow this real quick, say hey, lay down some cover fire, and it actually covers him for the most part. And that kind of takes me back to my Call of Duty days, or Modern Warfare 2. I'm talking the older ones, not these new revamped versions of them. And you can see that the shield does cover him pretty well. I think that's very, very cool. They did a good job with this, and I'm definitely not disappointed whatsoever. And for another robot comparison, here we have Transformers Hound next to Bulkhead, Velocitron Override next to Bulkhead, Voyager next to Voyager, Blaster next to his fellow wave mate. Go. Head is on a ball joint. Looks great. I like how those eyes still pop with the light and everything. Nice blue eyes. And he can turn his head about that far, and vice versa. And obviously he can still nod and everything. Nice ball joint. Shoulder. You straighten your arm out really well. This wheel does not get in the way of anything. Full 360. You get the tight joints. Maybe a little bit when you try to turn the bicep all the way, just a little bit, because you heard that click. Nice tight joints there. Wrist full 360 there. Waist is going to be a full 360 as well. Very cool. Down below, you're going to be able to get more than 90-degree bend at the knee to straighten out. And yes, he can do the splits. He does have a little bit of that thigh rotation in there as well. Very cool. This guy has a lot of articulation for how big and bulky he is. No pun intended there for his name. Ankle articulation is really cool. And there is something I wanted to point out. There is a little tab back here that goes into that back part of his heel, just to lock in if you need to for some reason. But you can also rock the ankle this way, so it doesn't have to be like that, because then he'd be standing back like this, even though he still stands up like that, but it's weird. I like how they added that little extra touch there for his feet. But overall, I think this guy is very articulated. So final verdict on Transformers Legacy Wave 1, coming from the Prime Universe, Bulkhead. Wow, this is the very first Bulkhead figure I've ever owned. I've seen some other ones more closer to that animation style where he's more rounded and everything, and I can understand why some fans are not happy with this because they're looking for a prime representation of that figure in our Generations line to be more accurate from that show. But honestly, I really like this guy. I like how he's big, bulky, box-like. I think he's very, very cool. The articulation you get out of him, because even for him being so big, it's perfect. He doesn't really hinder from anything really too much. I mean, other than the turning the bicep and bringing the elbow into a more than a 90-degree bend. But I mean, if you're already getting more 90-degree bend on an elbow joint, what more can you ask for? The presentation, I love the green. A couple different shades of green on this bot. You get the darker green for the accessory, for the tarp, for the alt mode. You get some darker green throughout the figure, and I think it just works really, really cool. I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. The rest of the accessories, you get his classic mace, and it can go on either hand. I think that is very cool that they brought that in. You know, that is definitely his weapon of choice. You know, he's a bruiser. He wants to go in, you know, firsthand. So why not? He's the biggest guy on your squad. Send him in. The other thing is, he got this little mini, like, machine gun here. Gatling gun. And it attaches to either shoulder. You can put it in one of his hands because it allows you to, because you get one of those pegs. Or you can just, like I showed off earlier and I gave it the gold bug, hiding behind the riot shield. Because even Bulkhead don't need all this stuff while he can hand it off to one of his teammates and show off some different kind of battle diorama type thing. So I think that is very cool. I think the playability is all there. So where do I rate this on my scaling? I think he's awesome. I think he's perfect. He's at the top for me. He may not be the top for you, but this is just going to be my personal opinion on this matter. I'd just like to say thank you to all my subscribers up to this point. I'm closing in on that 500 mark milestone, and it's coming up on my 2-year anniversary of uploading on YouTube for Transformer content. So if you stayed to the end of this video and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead, as it will help me get to that milestone. Greatly appreciate it. And also, hit that like button and share the video. And if you like my content, don't forget that hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload again. Thank you, and take care.